Every year before the new year, I sit down with myself and I ask, what did I accomplish this year? But this year, I sat down and I said, who did I become this year? And this is a deeper and harder question to answer than the questions that I used to ask myself at the end of each year. Asking that question allowed me to see myself. Okay, how do I operate internally? What are the beliefs behind my decisions? What is my thought process and the things that I assume about the world that I live in, which influences the moves I make? Lastly, evaluate the system structures, routines in place externally for my life to flow. Who did I become throughout 2025? When I did that and I put everything in front of me, externally as well as internally, the patterns became very clear. The ways of looking at the world, the beliefs, the decision making, the systems and routines that I have in place have served me. But right now, the vision I have for this year, the person that I want to become this year, the goals that I have this year will not benefit from holding on to the systems and ways of operating that I did in the past. And understanding and coming to that awareness is not even the hard part. The hard part is looking at it and releasing it with faith. Saying to yourself, God has got my back. From the day that I was born to the day that I will die, God continues to provide for me. And I get to choose every time the identity, the beliefs, the ways of operating that align with the vision that I have, the woman that I want to become, the reality that I want to create, and choosing that every single time. That takes guts. That takes courage to walk away from the familiar past and to go into new ways of being, new ways of operating, new systems so that your vision can come to life. That takes courage. That takes guts. That takes a level of honesty where you look yourself and you zoom out a little bit and you say, this has worked in the past, it's not going to go and work with where we're trying to go to. This is working and aligns with the future. It can stay. And to even come to that and say these things and act upon it takes a level of self leadership and doing the inner work to release with faith and to surrender to God and understand that you already have the evidence. When I look at my own life, throughout the years, I had different identities, different ways of operating, even though sometimes I wasn't consciously aware of it, but it was happening because naturally, when you are pursuing something, that also changes your identity, your belief system in the process. And that goal puts you in an environment where you're kind of forced to change your belief system and ways of operating. This year, I was able to see not just the past year, but see my whole life. The through line was that God always provides. God always has your back. You know, He connects you to the right people. He connects you to a video that changes your life. He connects you to opportunity and situations that challenge your current beliefs because He knows this is not going to take you to where you're trying to go. And looking at it all, He always provided for me. He always led me to the next level that I needed to go to. And for me to come to the end of 2025 and to not trust that evidence is foolishness. Foolishness. So I have made the decision of I'm going to surrender this. I'm going to release these systems that I have over identified with. Because that's a problem that happens. That something is going to work for us right now with the goals and the identities that we have. Instead of pausing and seeing it, this works because it meets this goal, but who I want to become will require a different version of me, a different ways of operating internally, and a different system externally and routines to accomplish that goal. We don't pause to see that. And if we see that, we don't have the courage to let go the ways of operating that we're so familiar with and the routines that we have put in place that work for this version of you but won't work for this version of you, releasing them with faith, knowing that God will put you in the right rooms, will connect you with the right people, will show you the right solutions if you trust Him. And the whole point of having goals and achieving is not that so that we can prove our worth and just collect and have all these accolades. It's not that the purpose is not that. The purpose is to live a life where you have deep gratitude to God, where you feel alive. Challenges will come, things will come, life will happen, right? I'm not trying to be blind to that. When you are building a life that excites you, these challenges become little pumps on the road. It's like, okay, I can do this. I have to jump over this hurdle to get to the reality that I want to create, the goal that I want to accomplish, the women I want to become in the process of doing this. And in the entire time that you're doing this, it's possible not to be grateful to God. It is impossible because you see there's so many ways that God provides for you. You see how many times He protected you. Sometimes we see rejections and negative things that happen in life that seemingly look negative, but behind it all, there's goodness for you. But you are not able to see it in that moment, but 3 years down the line, 2 years down the line, couple months down the line, you look back and you're like, oh my God, I am so glad that didn't happen because if that happened, I would have been screwed. Maybe you didn't have the boundaries you needed. If that thing happened, it would have destroyed something else that you love. You don't know what God is protecting you from. So be grateful. Be grateful for the yeses and for the nos, for the acceptance and for the rejections. And lastly, don't over identify the ways that you currently operate, the ways that you systemize your life, because what worked for one era might not work for another era. And if you have over identified with this thing, it becomes harder when you are pursuing this thing and your ways do not work for this and you are required to change in order to accomplish this, it will not work. Because every time you aim for it, you're being pulled back by the way you operate and the structures that you have in place around your life. And I understand what I'm saying is not easy because when you want to release the way you operate, the limiting beliefs that you carry, the identity, everything, your perception of the world, as well as the systems that you have put in place to support your current life, when I tell you release it with faith, I understand what I'm asking of you because that can make us feel destabilizing, as if like you don't feel safe. These are the systems that made you feel safe. These are the beliefs and the identity and ways of operating that made you feel safe. And your goal is asking you something different. And in order to get to that something different, you have to deconstruct all of these things and construct it back in a way that it serves that goal. Yes, it's destabilizing, and I will still do it. And if you want to go and do it because that's what your dream expect of you. Dreams are destabilizing. That's what I've come to the conclusion of it. They can be very destabilizing. But the soul in us, the part in us that thrives on growth and expansion, that destabilization is nothing for her because she knows it's temporary. It's a short period where you are deconstructing the pillars that you had that was holding your current reality, your life, to build a new pillar for the life that you want to create. Dreams are destabilizing. I think I should make a saying out of that. Dreams are destabilizing, but we're still going to pursue them. Because in the pursuit of our dreams is where we self actualize, where we meet ourselves, the end of it. So for me, when I sat down and I did this exercise and I looked at a lot of things, at the end of November last year, it has become very clear to me that one of the things that had to change was our environment. December of last year, December 1st, we moved into a new environment where our dreams, our vision for the future can be born and held. I actually plan to move summer of 2026, but I was like, wait. Why are we waiting for 6 months to move? What is going to change? Nothing. But I had ways of operating, ways of viewing the world, my own beliefs about certain things, limiting beliefs, and also actual constraints. And I was like, wait, let me work through this limiting belief. I went and did it. Took me about 2 weeks to come to the decision like, okay, this is not working. I'm holding this belief about it, but is it actually true? And by working through it, I realized, oh, this is not a real constraint. So now let's move to the actual constraint. And how do I get above it? And how do I overcome it so that we can make the move? And then that happened. And this move has expanded me so much already. Not just me, but also my family. Yeah, the entire month of December and the first of January was putting and setting up this new home, setting up our lives, setting up new systems that will hold this version of me that I'm stepping into for 2026. It has been an amazing journey, and I realized that I did not have to wait until summer of 2026. It could have been done now. And there are so many things like that in our lives where we tell ourselves a specific timeline. But in reality, the timeline is not the actual constraint. The constraint is your mindset. The constraint is your limiting belief. The constraint is the way you see yourself, is the excuses that you give. When I hear people say, use as such excuse, to the person that's making the excuse, this looks like a legit problem. It does not look like an excuse. But when you are somebody else who has a different belief, who views the world a certain way, and you know that what you're going after, your dream, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you can clearly see excuses as excuses because it's not a real problem. It's something that can be solved. But the part for most people that are giving the excuse, it looks like it's a real problem. But I'm here to tell you, I have been on both ends. I have been on the end where I'm the one making the excuse, and I've been on the other end where people are making the excuse. I am able to see through the BS and I can tell them, like, hey, this is not a real constraint. This is a constraint that you're creating in your mind. One of the best things that you can do for yourself is being around people that add to expanding your beliefs, expanding your perception of reality, people that will expand and show you what's possible. And most of us are in one environment, we stay in the same environment, we never change, and we expect our reality to. The reality that we currently have was built through the beliefs that we have, the identities that we hold, the decisions that we made from these identities. and they're going to be the same. So if you want to change, you have to start from the root. Like in nursing, we say don't treat the symptoms, treat the root cause. And the way I see dreams is the same way. If you want to go and become someone that you are currently not, if you want to go and achieve something that you currently have not achieved yet, you need to treat the root cause. You need to go back to the root cause, which is internally. How am I operating internally? What do I believe about the world? How am I seeing other people? How am I seeing challenges? All of these different things. Once you fix them, once you fix the root cause, now you're available to see reality. You're available to see, oh, this is a challenge, but it's easy one to overcome. The hardest challenge I figured are not the physical ones. It's the ones that are in here, in your mind. Those are the hardest one. Once you can overcome this, the external reality is easier to fix. So, can you release the old identities, the old limiting beliefs, the ways of operating internally? Can you release the routines, the systems that are currently supporting your life with faith, knowing that God has your back, knowing that I will be okay no matter what, and daring to choose to opt into the ways of operating internally and the systems and routines externally that will support the vision that you have. Can you do that? We're still early in the year of 2026. And I want to ask you this question, not from pressure, but from possibility. Who do you need to become in 2026 in order for you to accomplish your goals? Who do you need to become? What beliefs need to be released, let go? What systems, processes, routines in your life need to change in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve? What version of you is waiting for a permission to lead? With the one that's filled with fear, that just wants to protect what it currently has? Or is it the one that's ready for life, that understands life is a beautiful thing, it's a blessing? And we're here to self actualize, to become better than we were yesterday. And the goal is just a means of becoming that. Are you giving that version of you permission to lead you in 2026? Or are you giving the permission to the other self that puts you in hypervigilance, that puts you in scarcity mindset, that puts you in fear? Which one are you allowing to lead you? I ask you these questions for you to reflect and journal on, because to create something that you have never created before, to accomplish goals that you have never accomplished before, will require you to become someone that you have never been before. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this landed for you, and see you in my next video.